Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, the Trump Organization tax fraud trial started several weeks ago. It was put on hold, though, because numerous people contracted COVID, including a key witness. So, here's what the jury has heard so far. The company's controller is a man named Jeffrey McConney. He's the one who got the Rona to begin with and gave it to other people. Anyway, McConney testified that he was instructed by CFO Alan Weisselberg and others to provide these costly perks to Trump employees in the form of bonuses. But these bonuses weren't reported to the IRS. McConney also admitted to paying some of the employees with a 1099. So that's the payment method that's supposed to be used for contractors, not paycheck employees. And there's no taxes withheld when a 1099 is issued. So the contractor is then responsible for reporting that income and paying the taxes on it. But Trump's employees weren't reporting the income. And then neither was the Trump organization. So neither the Trump organization or the employee were paying taxes on that money. McConney also admitted to filing tax forms for employees, including Weisselberg, which falsely stated that they lived outside of New York City. And he said that he did that so that they could avoid paying New York City taxes. McConney claims that Trump's tax consultant never informed him that any of this was illegal. But he said that the consultant once told him that he, quote, wasn't a fan of them paying employees through a 1099. But then McConney said, oh, I feared being fired. You know, if I spoke up, if I questioned Weisselberg and others, I didn't want to be fired. But that makes no sense. If he didn't realize that he was doing anything wrong, why would you even consider speaking up? Why would it even cross your mind that, oh, if I speak up, I might get fired? And in fact, McConney's whole gee, gosh, golly, oh, I don't know nothing kind of shtick, it just strains credulity considering the fact that McConney is an experienced accountant. In fact, after the prosecutor grew increasingly frustrated with his feigned ignorance on the witness stand, the prosecutor asked him, quote, you have a college degree in accounting, correct? You worked at an accounting firm for 8 or 9 years before you joined the Trump organization, correct? You were in charge of payroll at a multi-billion-dollar corporation for 30 years. You're a paid tax preparer. That requires at least some familiarity with the tax code, correct? So McConney did admit that around 2011, their tax consultant from Mazars advised that they stop cutting bonuses to an in-house attorney. And this tax consultant told McConney that the attorney could lose his license for accepting income as an independent contractor. And then McConney told the jury that in 2017, after an internal review by another tax consultant, and not coincidentally, after Trump became president, they stopped issuing these fraudulent bonuses. They just stopped this practice. And then the prosecutor asked McConney if the consultant, quote, basically directed you to clean things up at the Trump organization. McConney replied, quote, she did. I was instructed as her boss to do things differently. Then later in the week, the judge agreed to a request that was made repeatedly by the prosecutor. They kept asking the judge to declare McConney a hostile witness, and the judge kept saying no. But then he finally saw the light because, as I previously mentioned, McConney played stupid. He wouldn't provide straight answers when the prosecutor asked him questions, but then he was very forthcoming when the defense questioned him. Then it came out that McConney is still not only employed by the Trump organization and making $450,000 a year in salary, his attorney's fees are being paid by the Trump organization. And it was revealed that he's been meeting with Trump's defense attorneys behind the scenes about his testimony. So outside of trial, but yet when the prosecutor asked to meet with him, he refused. And this is the prosecutor's witness, supposedly. So the judge told the defense attorneys that, yeah, I'm going to agree to this hostile witness designation because, quote, I think it is pretty clear to the average observer, he is very helpful to you. On the other hand, it seems like he has a really hard time understanding the people's questions, and he has a hard time, frankly, giving credible answers. So the jury will now at least be aware that McConney might not be telling the whole truth. And I hope these prosecutors pull his immunity deal, because that's part of his deal, that he be honest and truthful and forthcoming on the witness stand. In addition to McConney's testimony, though, the jury also got to see some really damning written evidence. Trump's 2012 personal ledger, which Trump's accounting firm provided to the prosecutor, showed computer entries. So there was one next to like a $30,000 private school tuition payment, and it read, quote, per Alan Weisselberg. But when the Trump organization provided another copy of that same exact ledger to the grand jury, that Weisselberg note was gone. It was magically missing. And so it was revealed in court that the accounts payable supervisor deleted that entry. It's a woman named Deborah Tarasoff. Tarasoff also was a witness. She admitted to the jury that Weisselberg instructed her to delete that entry as well as all of the others. And she said that on September 26th of 2016, so right as Trump's presidential campaign was nearing an end, the election was coming up, she and McConney spent the majority of that day carrying out Weisselberg's instructions. They deleted any and all significant entries, all of these entries that kind of signified an illegal payment. And McConney confirmed that Weisselberg once asked him to issue a $6,000 payroll check to his wife, to Weisselberg's wife, because he wanted her to be able to qualify for Social Security benefits at taxpayers' expense. And then the jury was also shown a lease for a New York apartment where Weisselberg lived, and the lease was signed by Donald Trump. So that's a crucial piece of evidence, because the Trump Organization attorneys are trying to throw Weisselberg under the Trump train. One of the company's attorneys said, quote, it all started with Alan Weisselberg and it ended with Alan Weisselberg. And an attorney for Trump Payroll Corporation literally said in his opening statement, quote, this case is about individual personal greed and the abuse of trust necessary to feed that greed. Alan Weisselberg is a man who has fallen to his greed. Greed made him cheat on his taxes. And then the attorney claimed that Weisselberg hid, quote, his deeds from his employer and betray a trust built over nearly 50 years. So this attorney is trying to make Trump and his family out to be victims. And then he's also trying to sell the idea that Trump is a forgiving man. He's so full of grace, you guys. He still hasn't turned his back on Weisselberg. He told the jury, quote, he was trusted, and although he has breached that trust and committed a crime, he has not been thrown out of the company. He has not been thrown out of the family. Yeah, because we all know how easygoing and forgiving Trump is. Trump is one of the most vengeful people on the planet. There is little that he loves more than money also. So if Weisselberg really did screw him over, if he really was doing this behind Trump's back, Trump would destroy him. Instead, check this out. Weisselberg is on leave right now from the company, but he's still employed. He's still receiving nearly $1.2 million in salary. And then there's even more evidence pointing directly at Trump. All of his employees admitted that Donald Trump himself required his signature verification on any check over $2,500. And Weisselberg's own testimony so far has incriminated Trump directly. He admitted under oath that Trump approved many of these special perks and tax-free benefits that he received. Weisselberg also conceded that the company benefited even more than the employees as a result of hiding those perks, because they didn't have to pay taxes on them also. Overall, Weisselberg has been a much more cooperative witness than McConney, and it's likely because he's facing up to 15 years in prison. If he's caught lying, if he's caught playing games, they made it clear You will go to prison. We're going to ask for 15 years behind bars. You work with us, you'll get 5 months. So, maybe they should have done the same with McConney, because this guy clearly is lying on the witness stand, or at least trying to minimize Trump's knowledge and everything that went on. Anyway, guys, I'll let you know when I hear more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, subscribe. Please donate if you can with a super thanks or with a gift over on TikTok. Take care. Tell a friend. I'll talk with you soon.